I always dealt with self-esteem issues just because I got picked on by a lot of girls, a lot of issues like that. I was starting to grow out of it in high school, kind of trying to figure out who I was. Had a lot of guy friends. When I was around 16, though, I had one of my friends, I guess you would call it. I don't know if that's really the case then after that. He, in some ways, sexually abused me. And for me, that was a really hard thing because what I had valued, I was planning to save myself for my husband, all of me for my husband, and it hurt me so bad. He didn't take it all from me, but just the fact that he took some of it just really, really, really hurt me because that was supposed to be all for my future husband. And after that point, like, I thought I couldn't get it back. He had taken it, and I couldn't get that piece back. So I got to think about where I want to go with this and how I want to word it.
How did you feel?
I just felt really alone. I guess the thing that really got to me was that I felt like I was going to be alone the rest of my life because I didn't want to give somebody something that's second rate. And the kind of person that I would want to be with or spend my life with and marry would be somebody that, valued those things. And I didn't think I was worthy to have that because I didn't have all of me to give anymore. And it just killed me, and I just felt so controlled in that kind of way. Like I couldn't be with anybody else. I had to be all by myself. And that killed me for a while. I had dealt with a lot of this thing. Okay, so how am I going to spend the rest of my life alone? Let's figure this out. And that just killed me. I guess I thought I wasn't worthy. But a lot of that time, God, through that and through my other issues, God did a lot of work for me anyways. Just teaching me how I was beautiful and teaching me what real love is, and that it's so much more than just, being with somebody, or some of you might think, oh, they kissed me or blah, blah. It's so much more than that. And he's there for me no matter what, and he loves me even though that part of me might be missing. However, he gave me a lovely gift about a year ago. It was around Christmas break last year because I was still kind of growing from it. And I got this, I was praying, and I felt like I needed to contact this guy. And I didn't know why, and I was just like, why, Lord? And I go, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. Nope, not going to do it. And so I just I go, if it's going to happen, you make it happen because I'm not talking to him. Well, there'd be times my phone rang multiple times during this break, and this person was trying to get a hold of me, and I would not answer it. However, one time I was packing up at the end of my break, packing all my stuff up into my bags to go back to school, and the phone rang, and I wasn't paying attention, just picked it up, and it was him, and I go, okay, Lord, just help me through this. So I didn't know, I was really mad at that moment. I was like, I don't want to do this. And this guy was on the other end, and he goes, Whitney, and I go, what? And he goes, I'm sorry, and it's not your fault. And at that moment, that was the most beautiful gift that I could have ever gotten from, I believe from God, for me. But it really kind of made me realize it is not my fault. That was like an epiphany moment for me. It's not your fault. And that's something I had never really thought about. And through those words, I kind of realized it's not my fault. And I also have more control than what I realize. I don't have to not have this part of me. I'm letting him, all these years that I would sabotage any sort of relationships or anything like that, or think I couldn't have that sort of relationship down later and have that kind of family, I was letting him control me. And at that moment when it's not your fault, I realized, he only could have that as long as I let him keep that. And so that moment I chose to kind of forgive him and take that part of me back from me and realize it's not my fault, and I can move on, and I can give all of myself to my future husband, heart, mind, and soul, and he will love me for me. And I learned that because the way that I guess God taught me that I was lovable, I think, which is a big thing for me. And I guess even to this day, I also learned a lot about forgiveness. At that moment, I also had to forgive this this man for what he did. And what I do every day now, I've slowly learned that he's struggled with getting over it now and has come to a new place in his life too. And although I don't really see him, I just pray for him every day too, because I'm sure that he is going through things as well with his guilt as well. So I guess that's another way that I can show love without actually, being there or being around him, is just thinking of him and hoping the best for him in those ways despite what happened. And that's all through forgiveness as well. I still sometimes am actually nervous that I ever really want to get married, because I'm afraid that I'm going to get hurt. I really do. But God is slowly teaching me to open up again. And I have, like I said, a lot of my best friends are male, are guys. And I think through them, he's put a lot of good guys in my life for that reason, to kind of rebuild that faith in, that eventually whenever God brings me that person, he's going to give them the heart to love me like he loves me. And he's slowly restoring that faith. But it's really hard for me. I would sabotage a lot of relationships. I would go out on a date and I'd be like, oh, well, I don't know, and I just kind of blow it off. And I wouldn't even take the time to really get to know people, because I would get really afraid that somebody is going to hurt me. And so I'd put up these walls to kind of protect myself. And so I wouldn't let people see inside of me. I would just be the funny girl or the goofy girl or the really happy girl. So I'd put up these walls so I would never let anybody like that get close to me, because they could hurt me. And so I was afraid on multiple levels for that. I think one thing, I've always learned tricks. I know modesty, and that's a really hard thing right now because you can't find anything, so you have to figure out different ways to do it. My sister, she's about your guys' age actually. She taught me this trick. You take the palm of your hand and you put it right here, and that's where your shirt should be, so you can cover yourself up. And I think that's something really important, because that if you dress a certain way and you dress confidently, and you can be cute without showing it all. And when you don't show it all, it also respects guys, and they're less likely to act that way towards you. If you're worried about that, or if you've dealt with issues like that before. Also, I think just the way that you say, I know we see in movies all the time, people are saying things and just kind of getting all up in everybody's business. And I think that's what you have to be careful of. There's different ways to go about doing it. You can be friends without doing that. And you can just show respect by, not doing that and not encourage them. I don't know what words I want to say exactly. I'm stuttering here. But I guess not bearing it all in a lot of ways, I guess. Because I think we kind of think that you don't have to be quote-unquote sexy or whatever to have people like you. Actually, you're going to be so much more if you're not that way. If you act who you are, it's sexy to be just you, and it's beautiful to be just you. You're so beautiful the way you are, and that other stuff just takes away from the beauty of you, because they're not looking at the person that's within. And by not doing that and just being the person you are, you're showing them love, and you can be a better friend to them because you're not bearing it all and you're just revealing your true self.